Oh my god, this one is on Twitch as well. I'm surprised. Now this one we've never played before. The two first ones we have, but this one is brand new. All of us, we haven't played this. That is fucking creepy. Play. What? I shall explore this mysterious cave in the forest. I do not anticipate any calamity befalling me. Who says that? Jesus fuck. That's so loud. Oh no! Whoever could have predicted that such a thing as this would happen? Oh. Pick up, throw enemy. What? You have to stand on top of it? I do. Got another sick soundtrack. Can I really make that? Okay, I guess by that. What does this do? Oh, it's just jump on. The fucking sound. Makes like a slap sound. Makes a slap sound when it lands. I have to take you all the way with me. Box. Alright, it's a bit loud. Let me turn it down. As good as the song is, we'll turn it down a bit. Oh, well, mission failed. Maybe we just soft locked ourselves. I think we actually did. Yeah, I can't make that jump now because the box fell off the map. Amazing. Wait, I'm just fucked now because the box fell off the map? Oh my god. Okay. Actually, if we got both of them. But now the level's fucked anyways. What the hell? It is so easy to get yourself stuck on this game. You do one thing wrong and you gotta do the whole level over. I barely made that. I murder myself with the box, probably. Alright, okay. Let's bring you all the way to the end. Hopefully not get you thrown off the map this time. Oh my god, are you serious? I can't make that now. Reset. This is arguably the hardest one so far. Out of these games. Thank God I didn't get them both. Just like I'm playing Omega Budget Mario. How did I do this before? I think I did this. Yeah. So what the hell was it here? Oh yeah, right. Oh god, no, wait. How are we gonna do this? I need to not hit them. Yeah, like that. Perfect. Oh, but wait, now. Wait, no. No, I think we're fine. I can still get up there. Hell yeah, easy money back. Ops obtained 2. Yo, that's actually a lot of stuff in this game. There's 9 levels. 10 technically, I guess. What the fuck is that? Is that evil? Huh? Oh, I see. We just gotta go. Get up here, break this shit for me. Mr. Op. Thank you. Why can't I break it? What? Wait. Can I even get up here? Do I really need to bring the box with me all the way? No, but yeah, this one actually looks like it could be a finished game. I don't think I could do anything. I need the alt to come back. Oh. Well. Didn't know it could be so athletic with this. Over there. Wait, this level is actually pretty fun. I am actually strangely enjoying this level. No, don't go over there. I want to kill these flying thingies. I don't think I can. But now I can't do anything. Okay, yeah, do that over, because now I know what I'm doing. Oh, are you serious? I can't squeeze through that. Oh, but get back here. That happened right after I said that I know what I'm doing. What the? Wait, this doesn't even kill me. Oh, does it? It does. Just because that was invincible. Wait, do that over. Do it again. No, let me die. Thank you. Alright, let's do this, Mr. Alt. Now I need you up here, Mr. Alt. Oh my god. Why do I take damage for that? What happened? What actually happened? Smooth. Oh god. No, don't go that way. Oh wait, I think it's because when it hits the thing. Ah yeah, it is when it hits that. When I take damage. Well, this is a bit awkward, isn't it? Oh my god, it already cleared up here. No, oh fuck, I double hit it. I didn't mean to do that. No, why'd you go that way? How did that miss? What? There we go. Easy money back, even though. You serious right now? Fucking got killed right at the end. Celebrated way too soon. Because I went down and touched those things at the bottom. What a fucking troll. We'll be speedrunning now, as you can see. Oh yeah, I think that's perfect. Oh, that is perfect. Shit. What's that? What? This is the lizard lady versus the cat. Nah, this is a different game, a third game. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. This is actually pretty good. This is actually decent. And I'm actually having fun this level. The first game was illicit. Lady versus the cats. DVD. Should have been, right? Should have been DVD. There you go. Now it's still gonna kill me at the end. Yeah, this is the third game. First game was Lizard Lady versus the Cats. The one that you saw was this. Lady in a leotard with a gun. And well, now we're on this. No, I don't want to do this fucking level again. Yeah, all these 4 games that we're playing are made by the same person. Or same dev or whatever. Pretty sure it's just one guy. Yeah, this one's actually really nice. I'm actually quite enjoying this one. Wait, can I pick these guys up? Oh my god, I can't. Wait, this is actually really cool. need one of them. What am I supposed to do here? Have another one? Hello. You're coming with me. I need you, my good friend. Actually, you stay on me. Oh, you heard me too. Okay, okay, hold on. Stay over there, friend, then I'm gonna get the other friend. I don't think I can do this. Ow, I needed to do it fast enough in the beginning. Maybe. Ah, go, 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 go. There we go. Oh, what? No! I didn't mean to kill one of them. Shit. I think I could do that. Now he's all the way down here. Wait, no, he's actually dead. Whoops. Yeah, he's fucking dead. I see him boxing. I didn't know I could kill him. I thought he was just a tank. I thought he was unkillable. Oh, that's perfect. Need to copium the death. There we go. Okay, he didn't fall down. What? He hit me. I thought I aligned that perfectly for him, for me to damage him and not the other way. Well, actually, I can. Oh, at least we had more health this time. Hey. Orb collector. Oh, herb collector. Shoot, cannon. Yo, what the fuck? Oh, but it has limited ammo. Oh, does it? No. I can just go crazy. So I fired 100 shots. What? How did he juke that? Oof. What is this? The same thing. Oh, I just can't jump with it. That's why it's red. Ooh. Nice. Hold down to spin the helicopter blades. What? Oh my god, wait, this game is actually really cool. Hog. I even got a helicopter in this game. Whatever, go. I wanted to kill him. Oh well. What I get for being greedy. For going in for the murder. Oh my god, oh my god. I didn't kill the final enemy. Oh, connoisseur. What was that slap sound? Holy shit. This is a hard level, I can already tell, because these guys are fucking hopping all over the place. And I can't jump higher than them. Oh, but he comes up here. Oh. What the fuck? He bounced off of the wall. There we go. He's not gonna come back up here, is he? Oh, he is. Oh my god, no, but I didn't think he would be able to jump high enough. What the fuck? How am I supposed to do this? Wait for him to come back up. Assuming I can time it right. I couldn't. Okay. Wait, I don't think I'm supposed to bring him with me. How the hell? Oh, wait, maybe. Oh my god, I hit the block. How? I don't know how I can't figure out how I'm supposed to get past that. Past to that. Oh my god, he's already up here. There we go. I'll put all the blocks. Oh my god. Ah. I may have screwed myself over, but let's hope not. Can I pick this up still? Oh, I can't. Okay, no, we're fine. I just need this back. How am I gonna do that? Oh, wait. That works. He trapped on that side now. What the fuck? He can push my box. Hey! Oh, okay. What the fuck? The hell is this? Kill me. I want to do this over. With max health. How and what and who and when am I supposed to get past that? It is like that. Jesus Christ. What? I didn't think you went all the way over to the wall. Shit. Get me out of here. Holy fuck. Okay, so they stop when they touch the plant. What the fuck is even going on here? Is that even a pattern to this madness? Huh? Oh my god. No, we're so close. That's probably the end of the level too. No, I forgot he goes all the way to the wall. Back to the madness. Excuse me. You cheated! You're not supposed to go to the plant? Oh, that was smoothly timed. Or fancier. Get up, op. Such an advanced level. This is actually really cool. This might be my favorite one out of all of them. Out of all the, I don't even know what to call them. Lady versus the Cats games. Might as well see if we can get all the purple boxes. I think that's gonna get it, right? Hell yeah. No, that's the end of the level. Smooth. We're up together. Ooh, up together. What is this? Oh, I see. Looks like I'm playing some like level in Mario Maker or something. Really cool though. Oh wait. There you go. Why did I not get a boost? There we go. Okay, now it really feels like a fucking Omega hard advanced level for Mario Maker. What is this? I don't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to go after that. Oh god, no. Well, back here. Nice one. What? I didn't think I would land on that guy. Oh no, man. Why do I feel like we're gonna be stuck at that part for a little bit? Nope. Nope. What? How did I mistime that? In what dimension? What? I don't see a path into this madness. Oh. And I apparently don't see where that jump button is. So how am I supposed to go after that? No, I don't fall fast enough. I thought I could make that. What if I just spam jump? I guess that might work. What? Oh my god. Why are you not jumping? That completely threw me off that I got hit that second time. Since we got the first one perfectly. Oh, right. I forgot to jump. No, why does it take so long to jump? What the fuck? Man, I keep jumping in rhythm with them, which messes everything up. Holy shit, we did it. Everyone just spamming X. Wait, no, I don't want to do this again. Clear level. I've cleared them all, haven't I? Did we skip one? Oh, wow, we did skip one. What the fuck? How did we skip level 0? What happened? Are you serious? No, get back here, you dumb block. Now I can't get back up myself though. Surely it comes back, right? There it is. Oh, completely mistimed. That almost killed me. Nice. Now we've got the final Omega level. Escape. What the fuck? What is that? Purple Pac-Man? Oh no. Oh no, I'm dead. Why does this sound like a slap sound every time? Shit. No, I fucked it up. Purple Pac-Man's gonna get me. Oh, that's a bit fucked, but okay. No, I should have made it. I knew I should have made it one more taller for this thing. Kill me, Purple Pac-Man. Oh, that's not good at all. Oh, maybe it is, but fine. That's not so fine, though. Kill me! Murder me, Purple Pac-Man! It literally is a Purple Pac-Man. Oh, but now I don't have that, right? How do we keep fucking this up? Oh, thank God. Purple Pac-Man kills me. I can't get that now. Now let's just do it the first, like we did the first time, I guess. Not like that, but okay. Oh, can I really not? You can't hit the top one from here? Oh, that's fucked. I didn't know that. I thought I could. No, what? No, it ate my jump. Come on. I jumped. Unlucky. Oh, that's perfect. I jumped too early. No, I do have to get rid of that one. Otherwise, we can't make it. Slap. What? How am I not making that? There's no other one that I can make other than that. I guess I just jumped one frame too early. Oh, I forgot to get rid of that. Oops. What? That's not part of the plan. Fuck, nah, what? I shot one too many times. There we go. Oh my god, are you serious? This tiny fucking block in front of me? Oh, no, just sell it. Gotta get rid of that one too. What? Okay, we're fine. Whew, I thought it ate my jump again. I don't know if we can still do that, but we'll try. I couldn't hit that. That is unlucky. Unfortunate. That should be good enough. But then I don't make the jump this time. Jesus. Murder me. Oh, what? I need to make it up there? Wait, what? Where do I go from here? Yeah? Excuse me? I think this is pretty fucked, yeah. Did I accidentally get like rid of too many? I guess. No, what? That's weird. I don't know what we're supposed to do at that bit. Really? Of course I didn't get the top one. Slap. It's a slap. Oh. Did I get rid of too many again? Sure did. Ugh. Numb me, Purple Pac-Man. Cool. I keep shooting too many times. I guess I'm supposed to make a staircase up there. I'm not supposed to make it to the end here. I think that's what it is. Don't be so trigger happy. Are you serious? I missed that one. That's what happens when I'm not trigger happy. Man. Slash levels actually are proving to be quite challenging. What the hell? Oh wait, is that what I was supposed to give it up to? I forgot, Chris. It took a bit to get back to this. Don't need me purple back, man. Oh, but now what? Now what? Yeah. Oops. If only there was a quick restart button. That's what this is missing. A quick restart. So I don't have to murder myself every time. And get Purple's Pac-Man to satisfaction. Murdering me. Oh god, what now? Just go. Oh, but I need to be up there. No. No, we're almost there. Okay, yeah, so we are supposed to jump over that. We figured that part out at least. Alright, I forgot to destroy that. I keep forgetting that. Oops. I think that screwed things up a little bit. Maybe not. Oh, it kind of did actually. So now I can't get up there. Do it, Purple Pac-Man. Oops, oh my god. No. Oh. Yeah, no, it's fucked. Oh, is it? I think it is. Choice. The forest is like a cloud car. They just keep appearing out of nowhere. Endless supply of garbage. The forest. What title did I make that? Oh, come on, really? Then it ate my jump. I can't. It's so easy to destroy the ones at the top. Jesus. Purple Pac-Man. You don't give me enough time to think. Oh my god. Have infinite respawns. Oh my god. Classic Goottii. Classic Goottii stuff. Now, that sounds pretty goofy. But probably pretty annoying to deal with. I can't fit. Free gods. And before that turns into 93. What happened? I jumped too early, I think. In the middle of the woods. They've been hiding in bushes this time. They've been hiding in bushes the whole time. Like it's a battle royale. Trying to be the last one standing. No. Purple Pac-Man, you're too fast. I went slightly too forward. I accidentally pushed the thumbstick. Oh fuck, no, I fell down. That's unlucky. We might still be okay. Fuck. Oh well. That was hoping, if I could have placed that up there, I should have made it. That's a good one. No, Ps4 respawns next to you. As if you didn't have enough enemies to deal with already. Yeah, I can't get through that when I destroyed that. Kill me. Kill me, Purple Pac-Man. Whoop. Yeah, it's fucked anyways, because I destroyed the thing here. No. Yeah, no, it's fucked. That's also fucked. No, I didn't get that, really? Unlucky. Single-handedly taking down the British Empire. All for one dude. Imagine the command or whatever, just fucking send everything, and I mean it. Literally, just send every man we've got in the country. Go. No matter the cost, get 'em, boys. Just for this single guy. Even the Queen? You want us to send even the Queen, sir? Yes. Every man and woman. Even the Queen. I think those are unlimited, that first one. No. I don't think we can do it now. Yeah, there's no way we can do that. Be trigger happy. Yeah, but I don't think there's any way you can destroy that first. But I think it's just unlimited. Give her a musket and she'll be fine. Just snipe him from a distance. Even the Queen. Really, I didn't make that? Come on, man. Unlucky. I shut it before I even picked it up. Really? I'm fucking literally jumping one frame too early. God damn. So now I can't make it. Just go. Okay, now that should be makeable. Hell yeah. Wait, what? What is this? What's that? What is that item? Oh, it's a boing. It's a trampoline. Can't see. Purple Pac-Man is on my face. Oh my god. What now? I pressed the wrong button. Oops. What if I place it here? Yeah, just take it high enough. Oh god, no, I did it again. I keep pressing square to throw it, but it's triangle. No, I did it again. Imagine if you had to do the first level over again. If you died here. Monk shit. Why do I need to throw it? Stop carrying it with me. Why do I keep pressing square? Stop that. Oh, really? I was hoping that would be good enough, but no. Stop pressing square. Unbind that square button. I did it again. Alright, but what do we do here? Oh my god. Completely pressing the wrong buttons. Alright, okay, here we go. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't get that positioned right. Oh my god, and I pressed the wrong button. Oh my god. No. I keep pressing the wrong buttons. Baby rage. I can't even make it up there. No! That would have been perfect though. Literally would have been perfect. Okay, I need a fur before I get on this thing. And then we should be okay. Why do I keep pressing square to throw? But then it, oh my god, then it landed in this spot again where I can't jump over it. Unlucky. Oh my god, I almost pressed square. I can't. Maybe I just have to throw when I'm all up against it. Up against the box. Oops. I can't. I pressed the wrong button. Now I can't jump over that though. Wait, how did they do this before? What? Oh my god. I did it by pressing the right buttons. Did I like... I don't know when I did that. What? How did I do this the first time? I'm confused. Yeah, now I'm confused how I did that the first time. Mega trampoline. 2 trampolines on top of each other. Stop pressing square, you fool. Whatever I did there, that's what I did. Now I probably need to take you with me. Escape artist. I'm free. I made it out of the cave. What do I do now? How do I go home? We escaped evil purple Pac-Man. With the... What does that say? Oh, herbs. With the herbs I have obtained from this misadventure, I will live out the rest of my days a very wealthy woman. In this experience, I've learned it is beneficial to take every stupid, unthinking risk that life presents me. Roll credits. Wow, it's actually rolling credits. Pog, that was actually really cool. Programming. Level design. Graphics. Is it all gonna be the same guy? Graphics, sound effects. Written by Hideo Kojima. Programming, level design, graphics, sound effects, writing. Matthew Green. Close enough to Hideo Kojima. Paul, this one was actually really cool. You could have made a fully fledged game out of this one. You can see how much is improved from the first one. From Lizard Lady versus the Cats. Music. Mega Music Collection by Andy Ray. This is also his first game that has the credits. At least out of the 3 that we had played. Additional sound effects. Freesound.org. Creative Commons 0. Modified versions of this image use for grass textures. Yo, and there's a link to the website. http://www.textures4photoshop.com/text/nature-grass-seamless-grass-texture-free- oh no, that's a dot ASPX. Software used. A blender. He used a blender to make this game? What? Make human? Paint.net? Yo, he used Paint to make this? Pog. Paint video game. What does that say? Spirit Sheet Packer? Pinnacle? Snapchat Studio? Snapchat? What? Unity. Excuse me, you made this game in Snapchat? What? What? The hell? Do I have to leave? I have to leave myself, just like the other games. But this one was actually really cool, and this one actually also has an animated menu. Clap. That deserves a clap. This one was actually really decent. Very nice. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this one, yeah. Now, quick check. Does this have a platinum? Probably not. Oh, it does, actually. Probably just to get all the orbs in every level, but I can't be bothered with that. Let's move on to the last one. And if I got